Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Go for it. The trouble is now, I'm a year older, means I'm catching up with you now, Anna Marie. Yeah.
Are you catching up with me?
I am indeed, yeah. Catching up with you now rapidly.
I'll wait a year for you. Enjoy your day. Many happy returns.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.
It's from me and Dirk, my hubby, okay?
Oh, thanks, Dirk. Okay, thank you, Dirk. Thank you.
Roger.
Hello, yeah. Did you get the signal on MT5? Guys just called up and said he didn't get the signal on MT5. You should have got it. To understand, because just a guy just came through, so I just had a hesitation. I just probably heard in the background what's happening on the signal. Because it says from the training support, our own group, you don't have access to that. That it's, you know, because what I do is I come up with the signal and then they put it together with all the right bits and pieces then, and then it's supposed to be sent out. Yeah, pretty much not received it yet on your MP5. It should have been sent to everybody. Okay, I'll post it on here anyway. If I can just find quickly for you. So at least you got it. I don't know why that is. Okay. I've mentioned many times a couple of different groups, but anyone that's reading it all comes under the group anyway. It doesn't matter if you got £1 where you went too much of £1 or 1 million. But I mean, the point is, everyone's got access to all of them if you're in the trading. That's not a problem. It just means the guys who've got a little bit more money, as in 2.5 or 150 US or more, will get more signals. Basically, it means. Okay. And thank you, Charlo. 5:30, we better get started. So we've got to make some money to fuel to pay for my very expensive lunch in a 5-star hotel. Only joking. All right. Well, not sure I really want to start. We haven't had much success the last couple of days. Powell again. I just say it goes back to emotion. All he said was been some disinflation, amongst other things, which I could have told you that. And that's the whole idea of raising interest rates 0.75% the last couple of times and a half. You get the idea. If you start raising interest rates as regularly as he's done, you're going to get inflation. Well, the extent of it we don't know. We didn't say it was come down better or worse. We just mentioned we've got this inflation. The market's so emotional, so jittery, they're active. And it jumped. Then it bloody thing came off. Then it went up again. So, sorry about that. Problem with there. So, from a trading perspective, it becomes difficult to trade, as I mentioned many times, when he's talking. Best thing is to leave it alone because it's a natural thing for rationality, and often it's emotional jumping around. Again, like the last time, nothing came out with anything I couldn't have said myself. And a lot less for it, I might add. But it seems to have such an effect. Wow. I'm not sure people laugh or feel sorry for poor old Biden. He had his State of the Union address. State of the Nation over here, State of the Union, Sona here. That's right, State of the Union address in the States. Remember our State of the Nation, Sona's coming up tomorrow. But he had the State of the Union. Shame, look, the market didn't take the blindest bit of notice. For once, I start to feel sorry for the old bugger. You know what I mean? Yes, market nobody get any notice. Shame. Anyways, but Powell makes a head state basis of something obvious, and look what happens to the whole market. So it didn't reflect badly. Unfortunately, Euro AUD, the Euro JPY, the AUD NZD, the G. Not many people think because went the GL30. Unless they did, they should have taken a profit and modified the stop because it was about 60 pips up at one stage. That obviously went. So anyone doing the GL30 would have been in the group for the guys in here. Would hope to have enough knowledge to get out of that before you start speaking or modify the stop to protect. So you shouldn't have taken a loss on that one. Brent's doing okay. That's a good bit of good news. The GBP NZD hit the TP. That's good news. Gold's hovering's okay. And the AUD JPY, must forget these guys. GBP CHF hit the TP. So I'm trying to throw a few bits of good news in there. And the AUD JPY is up 55 if you're still in it. So bottom line is there's a few little bit of good stuff amongst the 2 or 3 that weren't so good. We've got to trade out, but I want to come back in a minute because you should have received it by now, and I posted on there. So if you're in, you're in. Okay, I think you might have got a better price. Don't forget, guys, if it's a better price, take it. Don't put a buy stop in or a sell stop. You know what I'm saying? I think you might get a better price to see how it goes. I also mentioned what I've got on the screen now, which is more to the point, is no, Mr. Cancer. No, wrong one, sorry. Beg your pardon. It was the dollar yen. Let's go back to that. We mentioned a couple of times in the TR. Eugene's there. You probably thank goodness I suggested get out of it. I was a bit hesitant to say that, so I referred to a more diplomatic way. I would take it, so you can make your decision on that. So if you did take it round about these levels, be smiling. Remember we talked about the gap? It came back here. Now, should we look for a buy on here? I've got it down for my signal here at 14, a couple of pips higher than that at the moment. Now, I've got it written down. and it was suggested we discuss it here. If you guys support it, it will be sent out to the, obviously you guys will get it in here, but it'll be sent out to the VIP group. Now, before we go any further, I just want to just look at the DXY quickly. The DXY jumping around, that's PAL. Don't do with me, that's PAL. It's not actually PAL, it's emotional to PAL. Can't blame PAL at all. Not a time thing, but maybe I'm biased. But anyway, but bottom line, it's still be holding. It's holding above 103, and I still see some dollar strength moving across the line. It's pulled back, so I think it's a possibly upside. Mark and that probably, or was it Zeph, doesn't want to touch the end, is being funny, but that's individual choice. But I do see some upside here. It's come back, tested the gap, and a few buyers have come in. Let's have a it's not getting much follow through. This is now 1.5 hours old. Don't forget, this is not 4-hour candle. It's a 1.5 hour candle on a 4-hour candle, if you know what I'm saying. Really start at 8 o'clock. But for 4 to 8, went up, came off a bit, went up, came off. So it is holding. Give me its due, it's holding. It's not getting going. It's a bit sideways. It's probably recovering. It's not going quite quick because it's moving a little bit. We want to get the trade out. So I'm just trying to give the reason behind it. There's sideways, but it's holding the low, which for me is more important. I want to follow through. I get that completely, obviously, but at least when it comes off, the buyers are quick to respond and get back in again. So I thought this would be a possibility of a trade, and I've got the figures down here, so I'll put them up. I want to see if you guys like it. If you don't, it won't be sent out. If you do like it, see, I'm using you as a bit of support here, guys, but do it, for rational reasons. If you don't, obviously don't do it. Moneyless, 130.31. I'm just going to write it in. Just going to concentrate on that for a second. 132.71, and then we'll do that. It just makes the risk rewards about 120 rand a micro. Okay, Mark supported that all red. Yeah, I was expecting all sorts of things, but nothing much happened. It was another night. I don't blame him at all. Don't forget, he just said the quite facts. If people, especially the Q&A guys asking the question, journalists, they want to fill copy. They want action, man. You know what I mean? And if they don't get it, they'll whatever they've got, they tend to sensationalize to get some copy. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's sure. Hey, Mark, what else can I say? You like it? Okay, right. So that's good enough for me. I'm going to put that in. They'll probably ask you if he does the 0.02 carry on as well. I just find it a bit irritating actually, because what I was interested to do, discuss ideas rather than putting 0.02, 0.03. Shows the case. Where is it? Beg your pardon. Yeah, that's right. Make sure you get a third screen here. Okay, I posted it. Now, yeah. Sorry, it's more for brand new guys. Maybe I'm missing something here. Once you get through, you won't get back, I promise. Oh, see what you mean. Come on, that. Sorry, the mine was somebody else. I haven't got really much space for 3 as well. I thought I could make space, yeah. Or whatever. The third, the fourth might be pushing it. Trouble is, the laptop I got can only put an extra one. I can't put 2 extra computers on it. So maybe I was thinking of getting another laptop or even just a fancy tablet and having that handy or something like that to keep an eye on. Whatever. Anyway, that's not a bad idea now. Come to think of it. Now, just want to discuss something with you guys here. Now, I'm not Brady and Mark and that. I'm just, you guys, be honest with me, because it's, I find a bit of worry is the math side of it. It doesn't happen very often, but I did particularly get a WhatsApp this morning. I'll give an example what I mean by that. I posted a signal a couple of minutes ago on here for you, didn't I? Yeah, here we are. Risk reward 0.01, 128, 208, 0.02, 255. And I got a WhatsApp, and it's not iSlice on a mention. He said, "What does that mean?" And I said, "Well, that's the volume per, that's the volume risk you take." And it wasn't this one; it was another one. It was a 53 rand or something. Or something like that. Just a second. It's the KI. Second. Hello, JC. Not too bad, not too bad. Just in the trading room, but clearly I can speak quickly. Aha! Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, I like that part. The year younger. Yeah, yeah. Don't look at my real age. As I say, Methuselah's my grandson. Thanks very much. Thanks for it. Thanks for that. Yeah, good point. Thanks very much. Appreciate it, JC. Thanks very much, mate. Cheers, Ed. Bye. Well, that's just a KI, just give me a hit. That's quite nice. Anyway, going back to what I was saying there. So it was, we'll use 128 because it's on the screen here. It was a different one. So I said, no, that's the volumes you can choose. I personally think 0.01 will do. I'm sure you can multiply 1 by 2 to make it 2, whatever. Anyway, we do that. And the person came back and says, if I put, let's say, 120 rand in my account, I can make 208. Now, and I thought, is it me or does anybody not understand when we talk about the risk reward? Anybody in this training at the moment, when you get figures on the the risk reward, anybody not fully understand what they actually mean? Anyway, just a need to know that, because it's going to be a struggle if you can't actually read the signal, never mind place it, you know what I mean? So no hassle there, okay, sort of feedback, because that worries me a little bit. Okay, right, Tabo, the calculator, I can't help you with that. People, Mark knows a bit better, would probably laugh if you asked me that. Put it this way, they're not going to make me the chairman of the board of the software department anytime soon, if you get my point. So the way you need to do that, you need to go to those young, savvy Fundis guys. So you need to go to the live chat and you need to go to technical support, and they should be able to assist you there. And they'll download it straight onto your laptop. They should do it. But whether you use this one or we go to the App Store and find one, I don't know how, whatever you do it, you've got to get those volumes right. I mean, it's no good. It's like driving up knowing what speed you're doing. You've got to get those volumes right. Okay. It's worked out for you anyway. So in the end, you should be able to do it yourself. Okay. Well, come on, it's you know what I mean, Anne-Marie, we're not 21 anymore. We won't be seeing 21 again. We weren't brought up with it. I mean, I remember the first calculator came out. It cost, I was in the Merchant Navy at the time, I was a cadet, and the chief off came up boasting about it. It cost him 50 English pounds, 50 quid all those years ago, and it couldn't even do what you call it, a trigonometry. It could do adding up, subtracting, multiplying, and division. That's all it could do. Bloody bulky damn thing, about the size of the average large smartphone, and it cost 50 quid, and that's all it could do. And he was over the moon with this phenomenal thing. So it just shows how technology has moved. Yeah? So yeah, so I can work this stuff, but if I get into the SH12 of it, I have to go to youngsters like Clinton or tech support, or some guys, say, look, I'm having a problem with this. What I usually advise them to do, have you got any youngsters in the house? Go and ask their help. And they're born to it. There's an old joke. It says that whenever you buy a fancy new cell phone, a 50-year-old should come with it. But yeah, so there it is. So you can get on the live chat. I'm sorry, some of them now, it's embarrassing. I have to pass on because these are pretty, and Jack as well, are pretty jacked up on IT. I can work the damn thing. I'm embarrassed. Sometime the guy yesterday, when I think it was Mike, had to help me out on something on the laptop here. He wasn't sure how to sort it out. I can operate it, and that's about fine we can do. Okay. Yeah, I know I did. Yeah, but no, sure. Yeah, but let's move on from the bloody EUR. Yeah, that didn't go well. So yeah, if you like this one, we'll see how it goes. And just talking off the subject there. Let's see if they like it up. It's BAIEDANKIE. Maybe it's something right because he's sitting off the can't, so I'm trying to get cute, send it back. See if that's correct. Hope that's spelled correct. Right. Okay. Where are we? Get out there. You're coming right. Thanks. I spelled it right. Yeah, where were we? Okay, so yeah, I think the 131 should hold. Come back a little bit, bounces. So you're on it. That's the trade. There we are. There we go. See what happens. Okay, it's jumped around. I thought we were going to miss it one stage. It went up about half an hour ago, right up to 131, 36. So how it goes. Let's have a look at the other one. Have you received it yet? NZD-CHF. Not I posted to you. I know that, but I'm talking in your mailbox. You should have received it. I think it's been sent to everybody. We try and get one trade to everybody, then the extra trades to the VIP group. And remember, you got less than a couple of K. You can't handle more than one. Well, maybe two, I suppose. But certainly below grand, you can't handle two a day. It seems about even Stephen on this one, so it's okay. Right. Good. That's fantastic. Good stuff. Okay, right. So that's what I just want to mention. NZD, you should have all got it now. So there you are. I can see why I suggested it. It's come back. It's been holding those levels since, and the stop loss is here somewhere. I can't remember. It was down here somewhere anyway. So it wasn't there for the last 3 months. So that's the idea behind it. Don't forget, look at the euro. I thought the next trade yesterday, and it went through one support, went to another one for some reason. We're still not quite sure why. So just bear that in mind. I'm sorry to bore you a bit going about it. Always remember the emotional side of things. There's going to be a lot of times in trading you're going to scratch your head. You might laugh at this. The trouble is, the more rational, more sort of analytical type of personality you get, often it comes back and they really do start scratching their head. Just remember, if you're actuary or analytical, the world is emotional, and often it is saying, "I'm sorry, mate, it's emotional." I always say, you argue with your spouse, and the spouse, you might be married to them for 20 years. Why do you do that? I don't understand. I'll be honest with you. I think the spouse, if they're really honest, to say, "Look, why do I do that? I don't understand either." I can certainly look back in my life and think, "Why did I do that?" What I'm saying is, we tend to do some funny things, and that can affect the market in the short term when you have a lot of people doing it, and sometimes there's just no answer. It's just emotion. And a classic example was Powell last night. It's done that before the last one, I think. Is the reaction was very much a big reaction to nothing particularly spectacular. It wasn't saying, right, inflation's really going up, or right, it's really come down. It says, we've got some disinflation. Well, I know that, So just be careful of that emotion. Don't blame me, in other words, if that happens, unless I got a good reason for it, and I'll give it to you. That's just emotional. Okay, if it comes right, again, sometimes you get lucky because it take a big jump. Why does it take a big jump? I'm not quite sure, but hang on to it. Laugh when you make it. Okay. On the GR, I sincerely hope anyone who took it didn't make a loss in it. Nice in profit, opening modified. And certainly, I mentioned many times in the trade room, the guys owning the trade room took it. Would not hold on as Powell speaks to a trade that could be affected like that. I know it's German, but they're all affected by America. Okay. All right, so we've covered those two, dollar yen, NZD-CHF. We'll come back to see how it goes. URAUD, URJPY, AUD-NZD, better. Brent, let's have a look. Brent's still doing okay, but to back that up, at least we've made a couple. The figures are not looking good the last couple of weeks, so way ahead of the signals. That's brought the average down. But it's like in cricket, you get 3 centuries and you're not out twice. You're an average of 300. Then you go out for a duck and your average plummets. Unfortunately, that's the way maths goes. But where's Brent? Sorry. Brent's still doing okay. We got a 81.75, so at least that's doing okay. And GBP CHF, GBP NZD, all hit the TP, and the AUD JPY last we looked was 50 odd pips in profit. AUD JPY, it's all right, it's about 45 in profit now, but at least in profit. So remember, it's a couple of days old. Some of you might have taken it. If you're still in that AUD JPY, get your stop up to just above entry. So whatever happens, you protect yourself against whatever happens, and then hope you can ride a bit further. What it did. Thanks for reminding me. Whose side are you on, mate? Whose side are you on, Mr. Shearer? That's what it did. Just a second. 10990. Bloody hell, you might be right. What you had? Yes, it did. Yesterday, it TP. 1.0. I've got it down here at 1. Where is it now? I'm making the right verbal song and dance about it. If you get to me, the louder the noise, the less the issue. Oh, it's all in fun, by the way. I feel no Mark, even though I've never physically met him, so that's why we tease each other occasionally. Well, I got it down TP 1.0990, and that was 1.1074. So, oh shit. You're quite right. Oh, damn, oh, damn, oh, damn. Oh, dear me. Mark, you're right. You're right, Zeph. You're right, Mark. Okay, right, Mark. Any trading ideas you might have? Yes, you're quite right. Yeah, but anyway, it did okay. So it hadn't got it. I think not as the Winix. It's done pretty damn well. We got in again. What we get in? Got shuffling this paper around a few days ago. Got in at one. What's the bloody thing now? Where is it? It's in front of me just now. Well, I know we did well on it. I'm trying to find it. GBP CHF. I'll find it in all this noise here. Oh yeah, got it here. 1165. So it came right down a bit. No, it's all right. It's profitable. Like backing off there. Beg your pardon. Look at the TP. You're quite right. It's been in there 2-3 days. Decent a profit. But I think the GBP NZD hit the TP. So I got the factor out on that one. Oh, no, 89.60. GBP NZD. That was 89.60. Yeah, that did hit the TP, so at least we got that one right. Okay, so beg your pardon. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, thanks for pointing out. Of course, I'm joking when I say about that. So I'm obviously kidding. Thanks for it. I want you to do that. In fact, nice to have a bit of banter, a bit serious behind it. So that needs to be cleared up. Okay, we're still in that. Some might not be in it. Don't chase it now, and hope it does get there. We'll see. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, good enough. So a little bit of that is me trying to cover the backside a little bit. So a couple of bad ones. Just remind me, do occasionally get the good ones. Okay, don't like the word occasionally, but we've had ad runs that have been not more often than occasional, but we'll see going forward. Gold, what the hell? What's happened to gold now? Gold's been jumping around. We've got a gold trade at I think it was 1870, around about there. So I don't know if anybody's still in it, anybody took it. If nobody's in it, there's no point me talking about it because. But if you are still in it, cheer up nicely. You can definitely move your stop up to protect yourself now. It's more than $10 or so above entry. And don't enter it now. I see 1900. Go get a risk reward. But bottom line is that was a trading room idea. Anybody still in it? You'll be in a profit if you are. Be in it. If you're not in it, I'll leave it alone. Okay. Don't need to chat about a trade you're not in. You know what I'm saying? Zeph, the only time we're allowed to put the word loss up is one of your trades. One of mine, you're not allowed to. It's a new rule I've just put in. I'm just waiting for it to get through Parliament. Okay. Kearney, I like you. Thank you, Kearney. Thank you. That's what I want to hear. Oh, that was yours. I win one, I lose one. It's juice in the first set. Going well, eh? Oh, well, it's a birthday, won't have a bit of banter. Okay, right. So gold, if you're in, move your stop up, protect. If you're not in, don't chase it. I'll move on. Okay. Right. The NAS jumped all over the bloody place. Have a quick look at it for you guys. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this movement here. 240 pips. I'm going to use this for newer guys. 280 pips. This is an hour chart. We'll go over then for 2 hours, another 300. You get my point. So you cannot trade that with 3 grand. Well, you sometimes here you can. I'll get that. But look what can happen with the NAS. That gives you that on a 0.01. I'll give you an idea what I mean. On a 0.01, that's about $28. Multiply by that by 70.5. You're talking over 500 rand for 1 micro jump within an hour. Nearly 600 jump rand per micro this way. 500, 600, nearly 700 jump the other next 2 hours. If you've got a couple of grand accounts, your margin call in the first hour. You get the idea. So be very careful the NAS, I think, the best of times. If Powell's speaking, CPI, which is coming out on Tuesday next week, Powell will come out in a minute. Please, for goodness sake, be very careful. Even if you got 50K in your account, be very careful. And if you're scalping it, fair be, it's up to you. But just be aware of that. Look at that bounce around. If you think 280 pips on a Forex, you think that's Christmas come early. That's within an hour. 250 to 300 pips. One way, the next hour, 250 to 300. Next hour or so, you get the idea. Be very careful at NAS at times like that. It's an airliner. It's not even a Formula One car. It's a jet. You get it? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Where are they? He was here just now. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't know. You were there just now. Maybe up to something. Okay. Okay. Euro dollar. I think we might get some upside now. I think the euro's suddenly come off quite a bit, stupid Davey. Come off quite a bit. We had some problems with buying the euro yesterday. It came off so much. It seems to be holding that level there. My only concern, to be honest, Mara, is that I think there might be a little bit of dollar strength creeping back in. The 103 on the DXY is holding, and it could be a bit of dollar strength. I'm not going to count yesterday's candle, indecision though it is because of the fundies were stuffing that around. So I think that's more or less nothing to do with technical, more funding. I think there's a bit of upside. My only issue on that one is I'm a little bit worried about selling the dollar at the moment. Otherwise, I'd agree. Okay, so Aniova, what do you think, guys? There, what do you think? You want to buy it? I think get a good risk reward. Put the stop down here, so 100 pip stop. So clearly that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So you'd have to aim for somewhere around that to get a risk reward. Even that's 1.5. You probably have to end up there, something like that. Has it got the strength to get to 1.1 again? Are you expecting dollar weakness coming through? I'm not so sure about that. That's my worry. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless you put a tighter stop just down here, but then maybe, yeah, I don't like it, but where we do. Still 70, so we're going to look for a range of 120. That's really pushing it to get to there. If you honestly believe it's coming off now, let's speak. Dollar's coming off actually by coincidence as we speak at the moment. For some reason, I don't know, maybe just jumping around noise. I don't know other than that. Just bear that in mind, okay? But anybody else want support on that? Because I'm a little bit iffy because I could be completely wrong, as we all know. But to make it work well, I want that stop for me personally below this guy here, which means you got to aim up here somewhere. Will it get that kind of carry through? I have my doubts. I'll put it up for you, those figures, just to see if anyone wants to support it. I've made my case, but it doesn't stop you. Where you're putting the stop up, 1.0709. Second. One point oh seven oh nine, is that correct? No, 1.07. Yeah, 0709. That's correct. 1.0709. You got the four. That's what I say. Please don't put the fifth digit. It confuses me. Ignore it. And that. Where are we now? BP 1. Right out there. 1.1034. Put that in. Now we're having some problems. 1.1034. Now do as you're told. That's better. So you got to stop down there, TP up there. Well, your stop was in that range of yesterday, and it's above the 50. I think the stop should be wider, personally, but that's your figures. Anywhere like that, I'm not keen. Sure, it's up to you, Morris. If you want to go with it, fair enough. I'm not keen. Certainly not that ratio, no. I'm sorry, but I totally agree with Zeph on that, but it's his idea. Anyone want to follow it, or do you want to widen the stop, Morris? Anybody? Okay. Thank you. Exactly what he said. Mark's going back to what you wrote there. To me, absolutely. Okay, if you want it, there it is. I'm not keen, but I'm definitely going to stop from anyway. Okay, GBP JPY. I presume I was following that. Something come back, but that's I don't agree with that. No. Okay, GBP JPY. It's in the sell zone. What do you want to do with this? For a long, I'm not keen. No. Pounds. No. I know it's come down a bit. This thing could be a pop up. I think there could possibly be a pop-up. Don't agree there, but the extent of it, I'm not sure of. It's still the trend is still down. I'd rather sell the rally around about here than risk trying to buy it up to that area. How far is that? 90 pips. It might get there, but it's too risky to know it's going to get there. And if you look at the hour, there's a few sellers coming in on the hour. Look at that. See what I mean? So that's not helping your cause. That's not helping your cause on the 4 hour. On the weekly, there's a little bit on your side there, but otherwise, I'm not keen. That's me. Okay. Right. GBP JPY. I've stated my case. Anybody else have a say so on that? Do you want to buy it, Zeph, or anybody? I'm still bearish on that. Yeah. So you tell me, do you want to go back to euro dollar and have a look at the buy on it? I've told you again, I'm not keen. If you do, I'll put, quite frankly, I strongly suggest a better XL than where you are. I'm a little, okay. And I'm bearish on that, but I'm going to wait to see if I can get a better price to sell it down. Yeah, I'm afraid, Zeph, you earlier on the JPY probably better leave for your sake, because you've had some problems. So I think so is actually Mark, actually. With the dollar coming off, probably ours come off a bit. Yeah, ours has come off now. But as I say, I agree with Mark. I think it's going to recover and go. We should see. Funny things happen. Okay, all right. US dollar CAD for a short. You want to sell the dollar, okay? Anybody agree with Tembi on this one? I'd like to hear your opinions. I'm keep mine back. I've got my opinion. But I'm just going to keep back on that. That's also true, Mark. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Anne-Marie, you'd be actually, as a matter of fact, you'd be right. One of the biggest problems, people overtrade their accounts. patience is a definite must. Anybody, Tempe thinks this is a short. Anybody thinks a short, thinks a leave alone or a buy. Let's just have a little bit of a forum discussion on that with all your newfound knowledge. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? What do you think? You can unmute if you like and chat to me. You're all muted. Oh, you're sorry, you're all unmuted. Got an LIA there. I'll give you my opinion afterwards. Just want to see what feedback I'm getting from you. Got an LIA from Anna Marie. I've got a short sell from Tembi. Let's have a couple of opinions here. LIA from Pietro. LIA from Farney. Yeah, okay. 4 people. I'm afraid I'm agreeing with the 4. Sorry, Tembi. I'll tell you why. Again, it's in the neutral zone. It's not a strong buy or sell zone. We've just discussed there could be some strength creeping back into the dollar. The Canadian follows the dollar quite a bit. So if you sell that, you're buying the Canadian. Even if you buy it, you're selling the Canadian. So you can go a little bit together. They're very much halfway house in the neutral, and it's come back and tested this support area. And if you look at the wick there, maybe a little bit clearer there, a couple of buyers have come in to defend that. You get the idea. Look at that. Look at the 1 hour. See my point? I wouldn't be buying. I wouldn't be selling it. I'm afraid I'm putting my cat in the ring with Farney, Henny, Anna Maria, and Pietro. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, Dirk. Fair enough. Meetings come. They have to be gone. Okay, good enough. Thanks for updating. Okay, yeah. So I'm very much LIA territory. Let's just go to Anna Maria again. She did mention that it's going to be more of a motto. I'm afraid to say that's the case. Look how many potential instruments we've got out there and how many trades we get. Not many. Some guys would even take less than that. To say, don't try and think, I've got nothing on today, I'll find a trade. There are going to be times when you can't, other times where you have. There's so many, you can't handle them. But don't trade for the sake of it, unfortunately. Most cases, it's going to be LIA. And this is another one for me. Okay. But if you like it, Tembi, feel free. But I'm sorry, you haven't got my backing or those guys there. And these guys have got a little bit of experience, so maybe it's worth listening to them. And we're all wrong, and you miss out on it. Well, sorry about that. Okay. All right. Should we go back to euro dollar or should we leave it? Anyone go back to euro dollar? We can look at it if you like. I stated my opinion, but you can certainly, if you like it, certainly do stuff with it if you want. But I'll make a note that I'm against it, and I'll put my hand up if I'm wrong. Okay, well, a bit of good news. You see, dollar yen's trying to attack the round figure again, so hope we get something going on there. Good. Okay, and even though the DXY is down a bit, that's a good sign. I think it's going to turn just now. NZD1 was the NZD-CHF1. What we got on that one? We've got to buy. It's come off a bit, but it's holding on this level here. I just hope that's going to continue to hold. Okay. Right, the gold, just want to check just out of interest, coming off a bit, yeah. What else? The NAS going at me. NAS. I think after yesterday's volatility, people are probably a bit gun shy at the moment. Okay. I'm sorry to add more bad news to you. I'm afraid a lot of our tech stocks didn't do too well either. One did okay, and the latest one that went out yesterday, Schwab, went up a bit with the noise of Powell, the raw reaction to his speech, should I say, to get it better well put. But it seems to be holding there, so it's not a disaster as yet. So maybe it'll get better later on. Okay, Dow's come off a little bit, so yeah, maybe we'll get a bit of recovery opening later on. Okay, so yeah, right. I just want to do a couple of things while you see any trade ideas. Just copy as I normally do the DXY and the economic fundamental for you. So those that don't have it, I'm sure one or two joining hasn't got this. We don't want people not knowing what the dollar index is, and we don't want people not keeping an eye on the economic calendar, jumping in just before a major fundamental comes out. Not a good idea. Before I look at AUD JPY, I just want to put down my details. Roger trading support. Okay, make a detail of that. Now, very clear, because I do get guys putting 100 Rand in their account and saying, hi, put me on to whatever. I can't. If you've got less than 500, I cannot add you any value. You're totally undercapitalized. If you want to do that, it's up to you. I can over 500 if you so wish, but my usual statement will be one, I don't care what your leverage is, and you should understand the pros and cons of leverage. You don't go to a couple of classes, interact, find out. You've got to know that. But if you've got 500 or 1,000, you shouldn't really go more than one trade at a time. Not really more than a micro. But if you've got more than 2.5, you will be added to the VIP group. You can WhatsApp me, give me your details, and you'll get the daily updates. Just let me know. And just don't forget give me your name and details, like your account number, whatever, your real account number. And I'll update you as per normal. Okay. But I'm sorry if you get 200 or 300 Rand or something like that. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not doing yourselves any favors. I'm going out for lunch, as I said later on. I promise it's going to cost me more than that. You know what I mean? I have to buy it. I'm not getting it for free. So it'll cost me more than that. So, and you're trying to trade the international markets with, a hamburger restaurant. It's can if you like, but no, we get a lot of feedback saying, oh, yes, I can. Well, yes, you can place positions, but you're always going to be undercapitalized and overexposed. So try and trade with a reasonable capital. It'll do yourself a far bigger favor. Okay, if you can get a reasonable sum in, 2.5 is a barest minimum. You get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 or more in. You need the knowledge. I didn't say you'll make more, you lose more if you don't have the knowledge. But at least you can diversify, and you got wiggle room. Okay. Because it is a worry. A lot of guys can ill afford it, trying to trade a highly speculative derivative market without the right equipment, any understanding, and completely underfunded. And those little funds are valuable to them, and it comes back and bites. It's not nice. We don't want that to happen. Okay. If I lose $1,000, I'm annoyed, but I can handle it. If you lose $1,000, it means you can't pay your rent. That's not the way to go about it. Okay. No, unfortunately, no trade this afternoon, Anne-Marie. Thanks for reminding me, AUD I'm on that subject. We're back to normal tomorrow, morning and afternoon, and Friday morning for normal. It's just going to be a trading session, afternoon, 3-day. So not this afternoon now. I'm going to be quite honest, Anne-Marie. I'm trying to be honest. I hope don't get me into trouble. No one's qualified yet to do it. You've got to be qualified as a representative of the FSCA to be able to give advice, to be able to host a trading room. If you're not, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm doing it every day. It's because wait other guys to get their exam, etc. If they do, then they'll be joining me at the moment. And you can't have someone sitting there who can't give advice, then the whole thing's pointless. So that's basically it. So we're working on getting a few more guys. Don't tell everybody that, but yeah, that is an issue. So we're getting trying to get a few so we can get them legally, can give advice. Okay, that's why you're stuck with me. Okay, AUD-JPY. AUD-JPY. In a buy that you mentioned there. Sounds like a good idea to me. Depends what price you got in on that. Don't know what price you got in. I'm not sure we're chasing it now. I like the idea. If you chase it now, certainly puts through as you can manage it. It's got to overcome this guy, this guy, this guy, and he's still not in risk reward. It's got to get to here to get a risk reward. It's a few hurdles to get there. I like it, but a better price. Yeah, it was held there on the 4-hour, 1 hour. So a little bit come down there, 15 minutes, hovering, weak, hovering, hovering, indecision, I mean. Yeah. Comes back here, I would agree. We can get back to the round figure of 91. We've got one. Hang on. Rings a bell that, man. We got one already out on that one. Yeah, we got one. We got one on the, what's the date we got? Oh, a while back. I think it was last week. We've been there for a while. I think we came out until last week, isn't it? Friday or something. AUD JPY 91. So we got in at 91. So you guys are in profit. If you're not in, I wouldn't chase it. If you are in, maybe modify your stop to 91. If you, but I certainly wouldn't be chasing it now. If you need to have the RE5 minimum, and then you go under supervision, and then we've got to get you on the register, etc. What I can do is you can. I think it's correct. Just give me a second. You can. I'll give you the. I'll WhatsApp you separately, not on here. Just make sure I've got the right. Just give me a second. Make sure I've got the right one. Yeah, okay, I'll just WhatsApp you separate. Give me a second. Don't want everyone sort of WhatsApp and go, I'm going to give you the jet. He's the key individual. The guys wish me happy birthday by phone just now. So I'll send that to you. Okay, I've just WhatsApped to you, Zeph, the email address. Okay. I've just WhatsApped the email address to you, just and his name, and then you can just don't say there's nobody else qualified. They might kick my ass for saying it, Zeph. God say, don't say that. Just say, have you got the RE5? Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Zeph, have you got the RE5? No, hang on, Zeph. This is important. Don't bother. If you haven't got the RE5, we've got guys who are standing for it at the moment. Have you? I need the answer. Have you got the RE5? Yes or no? If you haven't, don't even bother. Have you heard that? You're probably typing away now. But where do you get the number from? Zeph, listen to me. Don't say Roger gave me the number because you haven't got anyone qualified to do it. For God's sake, just say I've got an RE5. I would like to join up. Is there any chance of something in that line Sue's got to say? Don't drop me in it. Every time I help somebody out, I misconstrue it and drop me right in it. That's why people never honest anybody. So you are, you get this, you know, don't get it right, you know. Roger said this. No, he didn't. Put in context. No, don't even bother. Don't. Sorry, Zeph. You're with me again. Don't bother at all. I thought you had it. You cannot do this without the qualifications. I don't know you know what you're talking about or not. I mean, a lot of drivers don't have a clue about driving, but they've got the license. Other guys who haven't got a license, probably better drivers. It's not the issue. You've got to have that minimum. Then you've got quite a few others you've got to get and do, which are very difficult, I'm telling you right now, before you then you go 2 years under supervision. Because I performed behind it, and quite rightly too, because we don't want every Tom, Dick and Harry going out and giving advice who never have a clue what's going on. But you cannot even begin to go under basic and apprenticeship doing it without that. So go and do that first, and then. But if the other employees have got it before you, they're not going to take on a new guy. Okay, just bear that in mind. Okay. I hope we're on the same page here, for goodness sake. If you get dropped in it, I won't be honest with you guys anymore with information. That's why everyone's so cagey, you're giving it away. If people get the wrong end of the stick, please. not accusing you, but you know what I'm saying. Just make sure you get everything in context, not like the newspapers, they say. It's not that easy to get. It's not getting a degree, but it's not that easy. It's quite a few tricks in it. I think probably missed that now. I'm not sure I'll be chasing it now, to be honest. As another point, if you're happy with us, stay with us, obviously, as a broker. But if you do shift, make sure that you check out the FSCA, etc., the website there. The guys advising are properly registered with you, because I know for a fact, certainly not going to mention any names, really drop us already there. There's guys out there advising when they haven't even got base one, never mind the full catalog. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, shall we say, interesting guys out there. So just be a bit wary. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't think so. Now I'm going to change my mind. Wise egg to look at the chart first, Dave Farney. There might be some more upside, see some dollar strength. But first of all, that's a bit overbought. But technically speaking, on the daily, looks like there could be some bias coming in here. Can we get a risk reward? We can take it up there, and we can take it down there. Well, I think you've got enough money to do it. If you have anyone under about 2.5, 3 grand, don't touch it. It's high deposit, high costs, and quite often quite volatile. It's not depending on the dollars, depending on what's going on here. State of the Union address coming up tomorrow night. Was it State of the Nation? Sorry, State of the Nation, mixed up with the Americans. The SONA's coming up later on tomorrow. So just be a bit careful of it. But technically speaking, you'll stop down there, TP up there. You can look at it if you like, put it up to see if you want to do it. But majority, leave it alone. I hope you all understood me there. Don't dive into it. There's reasons why I say that. Maybe they should do it. 1765 might do it. Don't get too cute with it. Yeah, maybe put the TP a little bit higher, get a better risk reward. Maybe shove it up there. Maybe up there somewhere. There you are. 89 bucks a micro. If you can afford it. State of the Union, State of the Nation address coming up tomorrow. Save the USB. State of the Nation coming up tomorrow. Higher costs. I think it's about 19 pips. Don't forget. There's higher costs, but more to the point, higher deposit. And if you do, maybe you can be very profitable. I can tell you right now, I've traded many times, very profitable. But to maybe just be a little bit easy on your risk. So if you're normally used to risking 500, maybe with 350, 400 or something. Why is your thing about that? I want guys on this trade room, because it's vital we know some basic stuff, the things we can handle. So don't be embarrassed, but it's very important you understand this. When we keep talking about leverage and 500 to 1 leverage and margin, 100 to 1 leverage and margin calling. Margin calling, 100 to 1 as opposed to 500, leveraged instruments. Do we all know the pros and cons, the implications, and what that actually means? Because I know for a fact that a large percentage of my clients are trading without knowing that. And that is very dangerous. It's nothing wrong with a motor car, but you've got to know basics of driving it. You know what I mean? Does anybody not know, when I say what's the difference, 100, what, 500, 100, the margin, what it means, the implication of high leveraged accounts compared to a lower leverage account? That's why the world is starting to bring in legislation to bring down the leverage. So brokers can't give you big leverage because too many retail traders don't understand the dangers of a high leverage account by the overexposing. Anybody not understand? We talk about margin call. Do we know what that means? Anybody, please say so. We've got some quiet moments here in between trades. I'll stop if a trade idea comes up immediately. That comes first. But I want to try and people, you've got to put your hand up and say so. Who you know when we talk about those margin call I just mentioned. If you're not sure, just say you're not sure. If you don't, you could get yourself into a little bit of financial trouble. I know it's happening. And that can be rectified. Right, a margin call means you haven't got enough collateral. The margin is the deposit. Margin is, well, that sounds a fancy name. It just means deposit. When you want to buy a product, the company you're buying, or the bank is going to lend you money if you're not paying for cash. But they want some sort of collateral. You know, you can't say, I think I'll buy you a car, I'm going to give you squat, just lend me the full amount. No, they want some sort of collateral. That's the deposit or margin. So what happens if you put the deposit down? Let's say the margin on this particular trade is, let's say, 1,000 rand. Give you an example. That is the collateral. The other 80, 90% of whatever the ratio is, the leverage is. If it's 100 to 1 leverage, you know, whatever the balance is they're taking up. So let's say the margin is 1,000 rand for the size of the position you're taking. That's the collateral. If that disappears, they're going to close that trade because they've run out of collateral. And you might say, my stop is down here and they kick me out there because you didn't have enough free margin, you overexposed, and you only had, let's say, a small amount of free margin. So as soon as you've got your free margin runs out, actually, it can run out, actually. It can go slightly below zero, to be fair, but it's 80% is a line in the sand. It has no collateral, so it's going to withdraw the loan. You ever heard of buyers saying, calling you in saying, we're going to close that loan for you, and you've got to pay up, or we're taking your assets, that sort of thing. You're like business going under. Same sort of principle. So bottom line is, it's just a collateral. I hope that makes more sense. So yeah, you've got to have free margin collateral. If you don't and it runs out, that position will be closed. And a lot of guys understand that. So they didn't must stop wire them out. You didn't have enough margin or deposit to cover it. So just check. So now you've got Joe Soap there. He's got 20 grand account. So he asked me what size position. You got 20 grand. I think, can you come to risk, let's say, a grand? He says yes. Then you should get 0.1. He does that. What he didn't tell me, he's already got 15 or 16 grand out there on other trades. So he's only got 3 or 4 grand margin. He now goes into this one. He's now only got 600 or 700 grand margin. Let's say the up and down, the noise, it might be lucky go his way. But then let's say it does go his way because other open trades in the noise go up and down, and suddenly he's run out of free margin. The biggest trade there will automatically be closed. Once it goes back in your free margin, fine. Then the other come off, then they'll start closing another trade until you've got enough margin in your account to sustain those open trades. It's like a variable margin. Does everybody understand that? Because I know for a fact a lot of people don't, and it's dangerous not to. Oh, that's what they do. They deposit more money to free up margin, do that. And I'm not sure it's that pro, because what guys are doing, I know that, I'm not going to mention names, not allowed to, but I won't in respect to them. They're gone in overexposed. They believe in the trade psychologically rather than factually. You know, it's self-delusional. So they just keep putting more margin in to keep that trade open. But those protective stop loss, and the thing goes in now. They're in the dwang. You know what I mean? You've got 20 grand, Anne-Marie. I don't know what you've got. I'm just saying. I can say, well, Pete's got 20 grand, or Mark's got 20 grand. Okay. Make it Anthony. He's got 20 grand in your account. All right. Then you've got no stop loss, and it's coming down. And you're down, let's say, 8, 9 grand, nearly 50% of that car bounce on one trade. You've got no stop loss coming down. Oh, I can't afford to take 8 grand. So you bung to stay it being margin call, you put more money into your account, another 10 grand. It continues down. Now you're 12 grand in the dwang. Then you say, what do I do about it? I say, put a stop loss and it'll close it. Oh, no, I can't take that. So if you can't take 8 grand, you can't take 12. Now you're taking a 14 grand. And it's happening continually until they've got no margin left. Now they're all bitter and twisted, and this is a load of old nonsense. The motor car is not the car's fault. If you're driving drunk at 180 in a 80 zone, you're driving badly. You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't be doing it. If you can afford 10 grand, put it in with pleasure, but not to save a margin where you're overexposed, just in hope it's going to get a turnaround, which might happen. I get that, it might happen, but then it might not. There you're sending good money after bad. You're holding on to your losses, you're running your losses, and you're grabbing your profits. And now you're nervous. So when you go into the next one, this is a butte. Instead of going with your normal one, you go with a much smaller one because now you're scared. So if this one goes right, you make 100 grand and you're holding on to your 4 grand minus. That's what they do emotionally. And that's why, and nothing to do with intelligence, it's pure emotion, why people see their ass. You know what I mean? You've got to start looking at logically, intelligently, rationally, with some mathematical nous. Otherwise, it's going to burn you. You know what I'm saying? Is that right, Pete? I've looked at your, I won't look at it now. I've looked at your account. I thought you were doing okay. I've checked it for a month or so. But yeah, I won't mention names, but a certain person in IT knows what I'm talking about. But it's all right, that person can afford it, but doing the same thing, holding on for months onto losing trades. As soon as you see a winner, you get out of it. Panic. Quite normal and not a good idea. That's why I keep on about it in here. And that's not the market, it's not the signals, it's purely emotion of bad trading principles. And we all, whatever that person is, yeah. But yeah, quite normal. And that I would say is at least 90% of overexposure, no protective, moving the stop loss away and hanging on to losers. I'd say 90%. Not they haven't done the work, haven't taken the trading room, haven't read books, literature, studied. That emotion is 9% of the reason why they see their eyes. Okay. All done it, myself as well. All done it. It goes back to golf again. So I'm going on a bit. I read it at school a couple of years ago. There's nothing natural about a golf swing. Everything about it is unnatural. That's why it takes practice to be good at it. The natural thing, emotionally, 9 times out of 10 is the wrong thing to do. That's why you develop discipline and skill. And that is the hard part of trading. Not the stuff you got to learn. You don't have to have a degree to learn this stuff. What you need is your PhD in the, and I've seen extremely clever guys. I won't mention names, I'm a surgeon guy. He thought he had plenty of money, thought he'd buy way out of it. In the old days of shares, he got in the NASDAQ, way overexposed, trying to buy way out of it on the downtrend with an open position with no stop loss, kept adding to it, must come right. And he lost a large amount. Purely bad trading. I tried to talk to him, but now he's in an emotional state. Jim Kett's not even telling him it's pure emotion. You need to get that discipline. Yeah, where was you? Oh, yeah, Mark, you know what. So I don't want to say if you have your back up. Yeah. And they sit on those losses. If there were profits, you'd have taken them long ago. This is what you see. Hope you can hear me. We've got a bit of a downpour. Okay, so we're on the same page there. That you get the point. At least you're being honest, Mark, because you're learning. And you can be honest with yourself. And try and figure out what I do. You can be able to laugh at yourself as well. But you guys, middle guys, you're all going to do it. You've got to learn the hard way. Don't care what I say. Everyone does. It's like telling your 21-year-old, save your money rather than going and buying a BMW with a deposit. Now you can't take your girlfriend out because you can't afford the petrol because you're in debt and the BMW show up. Totally blue in the face. They're going to find out the hard way. But hope it resonates in your head when you do it next time. Because that overall the main contribute to why people screw up. Yeah, but you're getting, it shouldn't be sexist here, but I'll be honest with you, women are probably getting in trouble saying this, a lot less peacockish about money than men. As a lady friend once said, women do the boob job, men do the purse job. And women are a lot more honest and rational about money, I'm afraid to say. Not always, generally speaking, the men, I'm afraid. So I have to say, Gertrude, yeah, to be fair, yeah. I'm sorry, if a little less peacock, a little less pose, the guys, you'd probably do a bit better. I'll tell you something that might amuse you. A guy I've seen for a while actually, the financial advisor, he's a very good friend, he teaches me a lot somewhere anyway. And a lot of financial advisors say they'll do your will for free as part of the service. Trust me faithfully, nobody wants to do your will. It's boring, number one, and they don't get paid for it. They're doing it as part of the service. That's BS. The reason why they're doing it is the one time, especially with males, and this is him saying not me, I won't mention his name, it's because that's the one time you get honesty about money from a male. You'd be amused to know. So that's why they ask male, I'll do male as part of the service. What they're saying is at least you be honest when they're doing a financial survey with you. They do a fin report and they do that. All of them do now as part of the legislation. They do a fin report, financial report on you, where they fill all the missing links in so they can come up with a proper area of a recommended policy or whatever. but they do that so they get the honesty. To ask a male about money, believe me, if he's got a lot, he understates. If he's got squat, they overstate. Very rarely get the truth. So that's why they do it. I thought we were amused. And I have to say, we're going to find it a lot more honest. I think mainly because it's not the biggest center of their ego in their lives. You know? Okay, right. So anyone did that trade, it seems to have been going the right way, with the risk reward looking up to maggots. So the risk rewards for maggots. So if you took the trade, finally, you're in profit on that. So we'll check something here. So you get some strength coming out of the dollar. Okay, that's hovering around the JPY, the other end of the CHF. What's happening there? Not good so far, but maybe come right. Hope you can hear me all right. So, right, racket going on inside. Well, I'll tell you what, yes. Well, at least we got the technology to give the weather report, and they're pretty good these days. Instead of me putting sun to shower, get to go and get a country club and sit outside. Feel I have to make a change of plan today. Which can't sit outside in this. Eskom's not a big hassle to me. What is a hassle is the economy and the aspects of lack of faith in our leadership because of Eskom. That to me is my worry. It's not a big deal to me personally. I've got the backup. So just that's an inconvenience. I'm going to wait another hour before I can make a cup of tea. I've even got a hot flask of hot water anywhere for once. That's not an issue. It's the Eskom's the bigger issue, not my personal inconvenience. Yeah. Anyway, so if you took that as a time, you should be in a bit of a profit. Okay, good stuff. It's a washing day for you, my friend, but it ain't a drying day for you. Okay, anybody? I'm looking to maybe get back into this one if we can hold above this level here. To keep an eye, maybe above here. So we can get back above one. That's wrong. That's right, yeah. Yeah, I can get back above here. I don't know. No, leave it alone for now. Okay, all right. Anything else to add, guys? If you can hear me. Try to shut the door or two. Oh, that's a bit better. I'm not keen. We mentioned that earlier on. Can be quite light, didn't get much support. We've mostly seen to leave it alone. Leave it alone. I'm not keen. I think they're pretty similar currencies. The short, sorry, I think about it. This is a short. This is a long. I'm leaning more, to be honest, on the long side than the short, even though it's in the neutral zone. So if I had to do it and the guns are pointed against me, I've got no choice. I probably would go long rather than short, to be honest. But as I don't have a gun pointed against me, I'm going to stay on the sidelines. It looks like that could be holding. Some buyers coming in. I know exactly what you mean, Mara. I get that completely. So I'm leaning towards the likelihood of it, but I'm not that comfortable it's going to be good enough. Got to maybe get above this on the 4 hour. It's not. It's holding here on the 1 hour. There's not enough ticks to buy it. To give me the to put money on it, basically. I'm not so keen. To me, I agree rather long and short, but more reasons to say leave it alone, personally. Okay. I hope I'm wrong, and if you do it and you do come right, but I'm not going to. I'm just missing out. Put it that way. Okay, right, guys. Anything else you'd like to discuss? What do you think of that? Just give me a second. Just got to go to the little boys' room. And a few cups of tea there. Okay, right. Anything else? Anything happened on NAS? Probably a bit quiet. Yeah, a little bit quiet. No surprise there. Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Thank you very much. And remember, ladies, it's not ladylike to ask a gentleman his age. And your answer to that will be, we all know, gentlemen, how the bloody hell old are you? Well, I'm still not going to tell you. Put it this way, Methuselah is my grandson. That's how old I am. People know who Methuselah is, you know, from the Bible. Supposed to, according to the Bible, live to about 930 years old. I question that, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, anything else, guys? Anything else you'd like to look at? Anything last? I've covered the margin calling, what it means. I didn't get much feedback on it, so I suggest and hope you all know. If you don't know and you don't say so and you come a cropper on it, well, folks didn't give you a chance to learn, because if you're a bit shy to ask, don't Google it or something. But I don't mention it for a reason. It was not important. A lot of details, you get people fog their mind up. It's not that necessary. But stuff like that's important. I'm assuming most people here are not here to be like car mechanics. They want to just be able to drive the car safely from A to B. In other words, profitably from A to B, if you see what I mean. So don't bog yourself down with the mechanics when you don't know how to weather breakers or how to, you know, change gear or whatever. These are the try and stuff I cover here. I make a point which is important, and it breaks my heart to be honest. I mean that. It certainly upsets me a little bit when I see guys making mistakes that needn't have been mistakes, that need being done. I can't predict what's going to happen in the market. Well, say that, get a view on it, but the market will do what the market does. But stuff you can handle and understand, I try and reiterate in here, because it's a pity to have a winner and make him to a loser because you didn't understand, or be margin called on a correct trade because you didn't understand the volume of the position sizing correctly. And because you could, because you're over leveraged. If I had my way, personally, I'd ban it 500 to 1, except those guys who passed the test showing they fully understand the implications of it, like a leveraged driving test. Otherwise, they can't have it, because there's too many guys who haven't, I'll be honest, haven't got a sodding clue and going too big because they can, because it's so highly leveraged, not understanding, we can explain what it means. And that these guys, unfortunately, that people can least afford to take those kind of knocks. So if you're shy to do on here, maybe ask somebody else or Google or find out, because you've got to know the of the fast car. Leverage the fast car. It's nice to have a fast car, but it's also got its dangers as well, so be aware of it. Someone asked me, great, they've got maybe a grand, shall I go to 500? they will go in with like 3 or 4 micros in a NASDAQ as they can, and they don't understand why they're knocked out in +4 opening. And the trade comes right, which hurts even more. Very important. Okay, guys. Well, okay. Well, it's a little bit early than 11. I'm quite happy to hang around. It's not my job. I'm in the trading group, but not here to waffle. If we're all on track, the basics, any questions, just reiterate again. If you want to know what margin is or contract size or anything like that, just go left click on the instrument of your choice. These are all called instruments. And then right click on and then left click, and you'll see specification. Do it again, knock it off. Just make sure you do it again. Pick anyone like that one if you like. Left click, right click, left click, and it'll give you the contract size for 1.0. It's always for 1.0. It's 100,000, and your margin is written down there. If you want to know your leverage, divide 0.003 in 100, and it'll come to 333. So it's not a 500 to 1, it's a 330 to 1 leverage. If you're in a 101 account, which probably finds about 60 to 1 or something. At least you know your leverage. If it's a share, remember, let's take the share, specification is 1. So you don't put in 0.1, don't do fractional on it, there's no point. You've got to get the volumes right. And it says clearly in black and white on the signal. And the guy says 1.0, whatever, they still go 0.1. I don't know, whatever it is. But, and then they'll give you the margin of 5. All the shares at the moment are 5% margin. 5 and 100 is 20. So the leverage on that is 20 to 1. I don't care if you've got a 5 on account or a million to 1 account. All of them are 20 to 1 leverage. So just so you understand that. If you don't, ask or Google it if you're frightened to ask. Or go, I don't know, got to know these things. Okay. Always remember as well, once you've got your chart set up happily, if you're not happy, go to properties, right click, go to properties, set it up as you like. Okay. Once you've done that, go and save it. Go to, here we are. Go to templates and save the template. If you lose your charts, all you do there, save it there. All you do is you right click, go to templates, and you can pick the save charts. You've only got one, fair enough. You've got a few, pick the one you like, click on it, and it'll immediately come back up again. I want everyone to do that who hasn't done that. I know I'm boring Mark and company because they've done this a million times, but I'm just saying, you guys, just quick, doesn't take long to explain that. Please do that. And quite frankly, saved me a lot of admin work on the live chat. 9% of the live chat is stuff they're asking when they should be trading with that knowledge. They're not trading first time, they're actually trading and asking questions they shouldn't be trading if they don't know the answer to those questions. You see what I mean? Or worse, they come the trader and they're scared of us to go in the live chat. That's admin time taken up when it could be discussed properly. And as well, there's limitations of what you can do on a text and even on a phone call. You need the zoom up so it can be explained properly. And then I say, well, explain properly. It's for platform training. It won't take me long if you come along the floor and do it, but then they don't pitch up. So they want to make money, they don't learn, they don't pitch up, etc. And then wonder why it didn't come right for them. You know, unfortunately, it is a bit of a grind you've got to put in to get the necessary ending. Hey, I'm sure you're not a chemical engineer to find without putting a little bit of grind to get there. Okay. I'm not being harsh, I'm trying to help you guys.
You're very much helpful. Thanks, Roger.
Yeah. Thank you for the support there, because that's the underlying art. I might come out a bit brusque or I don't know, a bit harsh or a bit loud or whatever, but I mean well by it. Just remember that. Okay. Right. Anyway. Okay. Is there anything else? I think should we wrap it up? I've got someone trying to join now. It's a bit late. William. I don't know the name, but just let him if you can. If it's a bit slow coming in, it usually means maybe a bit slow on the Wi-Fi. Anyway. Well, you know, Pete, I always wonder about that statement. Everyone says you can't have your cake and eat it. I would say, what's the point of having your cake if you can't damn well eat it? And yeah, so I hear it. I know, I keep joking. But I always laugh at that proverb. Come on, you can't expect to have your cake and eat it. You won't have cake if you can't eat it. I'm going to go to your birthday, Pete, and you have a lovely cake there. Can I have a slice, please, Pete? Nope, you can't have the cake and eat it, you know. Or I'll have a cake and look at it instead then. Okay, guys. All right then. Right. Let's go in now. It's nearly 11 o'clock. It's 9:30 to 11. Anyone's just joined a couple of minutes ago. We've just about finished. We've had a couple of ideas out. So we come to the tail end. We've run out of ideas for the moment. We're going to be closing up in a couple of minutes. Anyone's just joined here the last couple of minutes. We're not having a 4 o'clock session today, because as I mentioned, it's my birthday. So I'll be doing back to normal tomorrow. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Okay, I sincerely hope so, because I hate to say I might be old, but I rather like being alive. And it always worries me to hear some of these celebrities and older guys dying off. It reminds you of mortality in your age, sort of thing. And you know, I would have lived like Methuselah and the grandson, get to the age of 900. I enjoy being alive, you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks very much, Knowledge, for that. Thanks for excellent support. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have some fun and get these bloody trades right. And then we can really celebrate. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the day. Bye, Rog.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Bye.